Greetings, friend.
I bring you bad news.
We've already heard about it. The news of Rohen's death weighs heavily on this day. It has grown silent in the halls of the Order. A shadow has fallen over the land.
Rohen's last words make little sense to me. Hokan, an odd artifact. This book here, what could he have possibly meant?
You must follow these clues. Find Hokan. Find out how we can stop the blades. And look for the artifact. It may be our last hope.
Where do I begin my quest?
In the northern Windwall Mountains, in the land of the House of Hallett. When you are there, ask for Marcia. She is the emissary of the Order in Well Rock, the castle of the Halletts.
How can she help me?
To find Hokan, you must go into the heart of death, the Darklands, a desolate, devastated region which was once called the Gate of the Kings. Hokan's stronghold was once located there. Marcia knows the way. Here, take this letter. The gate fortress in the south of the city leads to the Windwall Mountains. Show the letter to the Hallett guards.
What will you do?
We will prepare ourselves for war.
Who is Hokan Ashir?
Hokan was one of the Circle Mages. He was the mightiest necromancer Fiera had ever seen. He came here from the distant land of Xu. He brought many dark secrets from there with him. In the war, he fought with his undead hordes against Uran the Red. We don't know what happened to him during the convocation. We thought he was dead. One thing, however, is sure, that his one-time undead hosts are still wandering about through the Darklands, and it seems they are stretching out their bony fingers more and more for our flesh. May the gods curse the war and everything it has brought about.
What are the Darklands?
That was where the most devastating campaigns of the Convocation War once raged. The battles between Hokan's undead hordes and Uram's demons went back and forth for years on end. Now the land is barren and burnt out. The one-time armies still live there and have made it to a site of death. The Order tried several times to cordon off the Darklands with border fortresses, but most of them were overrun by leaderless armies.
Did you find the quill?
Here, I found this odd glowing quill.
Ye gods, a Talindian writing quill. Thank you. You're really unusual. I hardly dare ask you for this, but...
But what?
You know, there is a special chalk. It's used for invocations and rituals. It's generally used by shamans or demonologists. My master told me to get him one, but that is completely impossible. Nobody here makes anything like that. To get one, I would have to rob an orc shaman.
The orc shamans I've run across so far haven't lived long enough to tell me anything about their chalk, but I'll ask the next one I meet.
Have you found the invocation chalk?
Here is your invocation chalk.
I don't know how to thank you. Without you, I would have long since lost my novitiate.
Anything else? Is everything all right now?
Well, there is something.
Yes?
My master's robe is worn out and tattered. I should have had it mended a long time ago, but I've had so much other work.
Your other problems were more interesting?
Oh, dealing with Tanard can be very interesting. Here is the robe. Please bring it to Tanara, the seamstress.
Greetings, my friend.
By Awenir's light, Knight of the Order. What are you carrying in your hand?
This here, that was supposed to become a very special crossbow, but I have almost given up all hope of ever finishing it. I wanted to make it from the noble wood of the black yew tree, but this tree has become very rare in the meanwhile. Back in the old days, the forests were still full of that wood. People carved many fine bows from it, but since the rule of the circle, we can hardly find the black yew tree anymore. Aunir's light. As you can see, I have still not finished my crossbow.
Is this the broken bow made from the wood of the black yew tree?
Indeed it is. Perfect Talandian workmanship. An excellent piece of work.
Take it. Maybe you can complete your work on your crossbow with it.
Thank you, stranger. This is an extremely generous gift.
How often do I have to tell you you have to wind elfin yarn the other way around? That isn't hard. Read my lips. The other way around. I'm surrounded by numbskulls. And who are you anyway? Makes no difference. You certainly haven't come here to sell snout monkeys. Add another misery to my portion. Well, what can Tanara do for you?
What kind of leggings are these?
A magical cloth. Very rare. It must be quite old.
I found them in a goblin's place.
He must have stolen them somewhere. This is Windrunner cloth, a very old piece of elfin workmanship. It empowers the wearer to move as fast as the wind.
Can you process this cloth?
Stupid question. Who do you think you have before you? Of course I can. I will tailor a fine pair of trousers from it for you, and that quicker than you can snap your open mouth shut. You see? Already finished. Now, get going before Master Zerbo catches me giving gifts.
Many thanks. Garbar sent me with this robe.
Just look at it. Did you drag it through the gorges of Baragor? There's nothing more to be done. Totally hopeless. Unless, well, some rock spider silk might just work. I'd have to replace some parts, but at least it can be saved. Bring me the silk of the rock spider, and I'll see what I can do. Bring me the silk if you want me to mend the robe. You'll find rock spiders in the northern Windwall Mountains.
Ah, an adventurer. Come closer. Bring a little diversion into the working day of a simple cobbler. Tell me of your adventures.
I'm no adventurer, my friend.
No? You look a hell of a lot like one. What's up? Do you want to experience a little adventure, perhaps?
My time is limited.
Come on, don't be so diffident. Listen to me for a moment. It will surely interest you. Old treasures and old secrets.
Good. Tell me your secrets, friend cobbler.
Sandor is my name. Now then, a few days ago I was wandering through the mountains near the Shadow Pass looking for old objects, when...
On the Shadow Pass? In the land of the goblins?
Is this your story or mine? Where was I? Oh yes, now, as I was wending my way, I suddenly heard some strange sounds, like the distant echo of voices. I found 3 different places with old gravestones on them. This odd murmuring seemed to be coming out of each one.
Did you examine it closer?
No, I'm just a cobbler. There were bones lying all around there, and when I came closer, they started to tremble. Then I ran away as fast as I could. The gravestones aren't here in town. There are grave markers outside in the mountains. One stands in the north, one in the south, and one in the southwest. Examine the 3 gravestones and then come back here and tell me about them. But be on your guard.
Break's over, time for work. At your service. As good as done.
Ah, friend, it's you again. You want to show me your teeth now?
No, thank you.
Pity. Have you at least found my property?
Are these the pliers that were stolen from you?
Yes, I can finally pull teeth again. Here, take this gemstone as my thanks. It will certainly fetch a pretty price from the right merchant. And if you need some treatment yourself, just come to see me.
I found this tooth here. Can you make anything of it?
Indeed. A handsome piece for my collection. Here, take this in repayment.
What'll it be? A sword for your brother? Or a dagger for your beloved?
What do you mean?
All right. Most of the people who come to me are harboring fairly dark thoughts, if you know what I mean. I craft the tools of death. No butcher knives or military swords. You can get those on the market. Now, what do you want from Ortank, warrior?
Do you craft armor too, Ortank?
Rarely. A good set of armor simply takes too long. Besides, the right metal is usually very scarce.
So, you have forged armor.
I once crafted a suit of armor from gleaming moon silver, the only one ever made by a human hand. Day after day, Sunder and I stood sweating over the forge. We used all our skill and knowledge to craft that armor. It was intended for the greatest warrior the human realms have ever seen.
What became of that armor?
Amra wore it when he set forth to look for Leia. What became of him? I don't know. He never returned from his journey. My old apprentice, Sunder, looked quite a while for Amra, but all in vain. He now has a forge in Leonon. If you should find him, bring him my greetings.
Can you forge a good weapon?
I could make you a weapon you've never even dared to dream of, warrior, but for that I need material that is more precious than a kingdom.
What are you talking about?
Among the undead in the south of the Windwall Mountains, there are some individuals of such evil that their rotten souls have turned to stone. These stones contain a great, unholy power. Bring me the 5 soul stones, and you will receive a weapon the likes of which you have never seen before.
Here we go. Yes? Let's get cracking then. Your orders? That way. As good as done. Master of the Rune? Understood.
What? What do you want? Go your way and stop bothering decent citizens.
What are you doing here?
You can see that, getting annoyed by idiots like you. If I had any time left, then I'd study old writings and do translation.
Are you a scholar?
No, I'm the night watchman. Of course I'm a scholar. And a good one, too. Now, what do you want?
At your service. Let's get cracking then.
They are here. They are here. Oh, dear, send out the light. Drive the shadows away.
You should go see a healer, friend. You are ill.
No, not ill. Knowing, and yet still blind. I don't see the shadows under the light. Don't see the horror creeping up on me.
Tell me one thing at a time.
Sorry, I'm Custagir, an adept of the dark arts. Believe me, I know the creatures of light, and I'm knowledgeable on the creatures of darkness. But in the shadows there lurks a power that is more terrible than all the creatures this world will ever bring forth. Something is waiting there. Alien, mysterious, not visible to the eye, except when they are killing. Then you see their dark silhouettes, and it's the last thing you ever see. Only very few people know of them. My master died by their hand. I must get to the bottom of their secret. I have no other choice. Perhaps they are already here, among us, lurking.
Is there no magic spell that can protect you?
No, no curse can frighten them. The ring is the only way. My master told me about it before he died, but he took his knowledge with him into the grave.
Off to work. Here I am. Let's get cracking then.
Ah, an adventurer. I hope you're not one of the long-fingered variety. Otherwise, you'll soon kiss those fingers goodbye. Do you hear?
What goods do you sell?
I trade with things far beyond your imagination, let alone your budget. You'd better just move on.
ready to go. Let's get cracking then. Your orders? Here we go. Break's over, time for work. Off to work. Yes?
A wanderer in this wilderness?
You look very weak.
Weak, yes. Weakness has lived in my limbs since that day, when this illness laid me low. May you never have to go through anything like that. Nothing can soothe my agony.
You mean your disease is incurable?
Well, the Zephyr potion, it can heal this illness. But it is rare and precious. Shanmuir, the healer from Leonon, she might be able to concoct it. But she... perhaps you might be able to help me. Ask Shanmuir for a Zephyr potion. She'll listen to you.
I'll see what I can do.
Off to work. Building completed. Let's get cracking then. Here we go.
Upgrade complete. A new skill is available.
Ah, you're back.
I have examined the 3 gravestones.
And?
I could actually make out words. Tar, Shin, and Gar.
What might that mean?
I don't know, Sandor.
Go to Goran, the old scholar. Perhaps he can decipher those words. He knows a lot about the old languages.
What is it this time?
Sandor sent me.
A cobbler? Huh, I would never have thought that a warrior would be out and about on orders from a cobbler.
Do the words Tar, Gar, and Shin mean anything to you? Perhaps an old language you might know?
Not a language. That's a name. An old hated name. The Child Slaughterer. His name was Shin Targar, the last sorcerer of Greyfell. In his greed for power, he slew 3 sons and offered their blood as a sacrifice to the Red Horde. But the Horde betrayed him, as they did so many others. That was still before the days of the Circle. The citizens of Greyfell drove him away when they discovered what he had done. Embittered, he ran away into a cave and sealed up its entrance forever.
Then those are the voices of his slain sons who curse his name.
Yes, may he be damned forever.
Ah, you're back.
I went to see Goran.
And? What does he say?
He thinks the words form the name of an old sorcerer, Shin Gar.
An old sorcerer? There is a cave up there in the mountains. They say you can find the grave of an old sorcerer up there. I'd bet anything it's full of treasures. The cave is sealed with a stone gate. Nobody has been able to open it so far. If it's the grave of that sorcerer...
Then his name might open the gate.
Come along! Follow me! We're going to the cave!
Only a cobbler.
As good as done. Here we go. Break's over, time for work. Break's over, time for work.
Awaiting your orders. Understood. Sir. Yes, right. Sir. Sir. Yes, sir.
Building completed. Building completed. I'm on it. Yes. Here we go. Building completed. Ready to go. Break's over. Time for your service. As good as done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Awaiting your orders. Awaiting your orders. Ready to fight, sir. On my way. Yes, sir. Understood. All right. Awaiting your orders. Ready for action. Sir. Yes, sir. Sir. Yes, sir. Ready to fight, sir. Moving out. Sir. Yes, sir.
Building completed. Building completed.
Enemy contact. Enemies beware. Never give up. We're under attack. Facing the enemy.
What is it this time?
Here, I have a book from Shin Targar.
Let me see it. Encoded. I can recognize the syllables all right, but none of the words. You'll have to go see someone else. Go to Darius Serval. He lives in Leonon. He knows the codes of the old guilds better than I do. Talk to him about the book.
Come in, friend. Come in, friend.
Did this dress belong to your daughter?
My... Sarah? Yes. Yes. That was one of her dresses. She had it on the day she disappeared.
Your daughter will be avenged.
I thank you. Here, please take this. It is only the feeble thanks of an old man, but I have nothing more. Now I can die in peace, for I will finally see my Sarah again.
Greetings.
Would this spider silk be of any use to you?
Oh, indeed so. Pure spider silk is rare and precious. There is much power in spider silk. Unfortunately, I'm not the right person for the job. My coarse loom would just ruin it. But there's a seamstress who can craft the most precious of all fabrics from the silk. Go see Tanara in Greyfell. Show her the silk. I'm sure you won't regret it.
Ah, it's you.
Greetings.
What do you want?
Tell me about the chest again.
The chest is equipped with a clever lock. Only somebody who turns the 3 knobs in the correct sequence will be able to open it.
What sequence is that?
You must be joking. I'm a merchant. You'll have to give me something of comparable value for information like that. A malachite, for example.
Here, take it. A malachite.
Indeed. Then I was mistaken about you. You're wealthier than you appear on the surface. Well then, the correct sequence is...
Well?
Right knob.
And then?
Left knob.
Continue.
Knob in the middle. Left knob.
Well?
And last, the knob in the middle.
There is something else I have to know.
Yes, the combination isn't enough. If you want to open the chest, you need a key.
Could you give me the key?
Of course. Here it is.
Welcome, friend.
Did this necklace belong to your wife?
Ye gods! Then she is dead. Oh, Shire. Those miserable bastards. Their blood will be the price they pay me for this.
One of the orc leaders was wearing this necklace. He must have gotten it from the traitor.
Find him. Find the murderer. He robbed me of my wife and my honor. If I were not bound by my duty as Lord Commander, I would hunt him down to the very end of the earth.
Your wife will be avenged. Nevertheless, your honor is unstained.
You don't understand. Not only did he steal my wife from the bedchamber, he also took the purple banner, the sign of our house. Without that banner, I am dishonored. No enemy has ever been able to take it away from us. Now it serves the traitor as a trophy.
I will find him, my lord. You can count on me.
Welcome, friend.
The traitor is dead.
Did he have the banner with him? Who was it? What did he look like?
The banner is here. It was a scarred fellow with eyes of steel, a good fighter with shield and sword.
Halgard, that swine. I suspected he was the one. He's been stalking Shira for a long time. I was a fool. As for you, Rune Warrior, you have restored the honor of Utran and avenged the death of my wife. Take this as thanks. May it be useful to you on your journey.
Greetings from Ortank.
Thank you, but that's not why you're here, right?
I'm looking for Amra's armor. Ortank sent me to you.
Amra is gone. Leia is gone. Only the gods know what has become of them. Amra was a warrior, short-tempered, but his heart was in the right place. And Leia was the loveliest creature the world has ever seen. The two of them would have made a lovely couple, but then Leia went away with some fellow in disguise, and Amra was never the same again. Raged and howled all day. Finally, he ordered us to forge this armor that neither a sword nor magic can penetrate. When it was finally finished, he left to bring Leia back. He never returned. This disguised fellow must have slain him and then run off with Leia. Poor Shan. She's been worried to death over her sister ever since.
Shan Muir is Leia's sister?
That she is. Go and ask her yourself if you don't believe me.
So you're back.
You were Leia's sister?
Yes. May the gods protect her wherever she is, and her beloved as well, even though their love brought nothing but misfortune to our house. You should know that Amra once hired on as a mercenary for my father. At that time, my sister Leia fell in love with him, and would certainly have become his wife had a wealthy mage not already asked for her hand. And so my father sent Amra away. Leia gave him a sign of her favor, her most precious possession, the pledge of the gods. A golden ring, which she had once received from the hand of the goddess Elen herself. Then the mage came and took Leia with him, and that was the last we heard from her. But one day the mage returned, raging with fury. He killed my father and destroyed our home. I never found out exactly what happened back then, but you aren't the only one interested in the history of the House of Muir. For days, there have been strange creatures lingering about the ruins of our house. They seem to be looking for something there.
Perhaps they're looking for Amra's armor. I'll have a look myself. Where exactly will I find your house?
Take the road to the east after the North Bridge, then you'll come right to it, but all that's left of it is a ruin. There is nothing to be found there.
Someone seems to have a different opinion. Can you brew a Zirfar potion for me?
The Zirfar potion? Who has sent you? Is it that hermit?
Yes. You know of him?
Indeed I do. He's a murderer, a slaughterer driven by madness. His illness and weakness are the only reason why he is still on the loose and not in a dungeon. His suffering gained him the sympathy of the judges. The Zirfar potion might help him, but once he regains his strength, he will doubtlessly start murdering again.
Have you no compassion for him?
I can give you a pain-easing potion. It will ease his pains even if it doesn't cure them, but the Zirfar potion, never.
Then give me that pain-easing potion.
Here it is. Bring it to the hermit.
We'll be done.
Welcome, young warrior.
Goron told me you might be able to decipher this.
A dark document, very dark. Almighty light, this is the book of the child slaughterer. Here, take this in exchange. I'll keep the book. This knowledge is not intended for you.
Please, tell me something about this book.
By the gods, did you get this book from Rohen? What has become of him?
Rohen fell in the frost marches. It was my fault.
You were just a messenger, but now you are much more than that. That should be clear to you.
Is it true that this book contains the secrets of the Convocation?
Not only that, this book gives the reasons why the Convocation was doomed to failure. It explains what it really is, a deception. Not a secret of the Formers, but rather a false clue. A vengeance of the renegades, the Dark Gods, left behind as an evil lure by the Fial Darg in Xu. The Fial Darg knew that the primeval forces could not be tamed. Only Aonir is capable of that feat, and so they misguided the nations into invoking the powers at the right time and thus destroying themselves.
But the Dark Nations would have been destroyed as well.
Bear in mind that these rune tablets were made at a time when the Dark Ones were driven out of Xu and the renegades were banished from the world. Back then the Dark Ones stood on the brink of destruction anyway.
Where did you acquire so much knowledge about things that even the Circle did not know? Rohen got this book from you, didn't he?
I may know a great deal, but you must not know everything. Farewell.
The rune calls. Very well. For the glory of Aonir.
What was the rune desire? What is the rune desire?
Reinforce the defenses.
We must drive them back. For the light.
At your command. Away.
Welcome, young warrior.
Please, tell me something about the Convocation.
What we know of the Convocation comes from a runic text from the ruins of the Formers in Xu. The text describes the meeting of two heavenly bodies, Aonir's star and something the Formers called the Dark Brother. Aonir's star was covered over for a moment. When that happens, then Aonir's eye is blind and his power extinguished for the blink of an eye. At that moment, the spell that keeps the primeval elements of our world under control is also weakened. Now the text says that should someone succeed in awakening the primeval elements during this meeting, then he could cast a spell on them and acquire a level of power that would even set the gods a-tremble. The Circle mages discovered this old text in Xu and studied it, and somewhat later the foolish plan of invoking the Convocation began to ripen in their minds. In the course of time, however, the mages had a falling out. They thought only a single individual could acquire the power over the primeval elements. That's what brought about the War of the Convocation. Many generations worked on them, but the old texts were imprecise. And when the hour of the convocation came, they invoked the primeval powers with all their magical skills, competing for the prize of great power. But nobody could muster enough strength, and the primeval elements got out of control. They arose from their slumbers, and their raging shattered the face of the world. Only in those places where the godstones of Ioneer stood, the blue obelisks, was anything preserved from the might of the Star God to protect us from annihilation. That was how the islands came about, but we would still have been condemned to destruction had Rohen Tahir not created the portals, and thus rejoined the lands of our world together.
The Circle.
At all times, the mages have brought about unrest to the world with their thirst for knowledge and power. The Circle was founded by an agreement of all nations to put an end to the intrigues of the magicians. The 13 most powerful mages of the nations, adherents of both light and darkness, joined the Circle. The Circle selected the city of Moulondir as its seat, independent of all governments. At first, the mages of the Circle discharged their tasks with earnestness and established peace and justice where hate and intrigue had once reigned supreme. But what was destined to happen did happen.
The mages realized how much power they had assembled.
Wisely stated. The Circle soon became a power base, a danger none of the nations was able to perceive because the mages worked in secret and over a vast number of devious courses. They deciphered the secret of all fire, which extended their lives and gave them power far beyond any known sorcery. For hundreds of years they guided the destiny of the realms out of their secret places.
How can a Circle mage be defeated if he knows how to use the power of the All-Fire?
Only by another Circle mage, or a god. The thing that ultimately killed them was their own greed. When the convocation failed, most of them were destroyed.
Most of them?
Well, Rohen Tahir survived. Who can guarantee that there aren't other Circle mages still alive?
The runes.
I understand. Your long sleep blurred many of your memories. The Rune Warriors were once created by the Circle as a guard regiment. Magical creatures are powerful, but generally inexperienced. Experienced soldiers, on the other hand, are mortal, and of wavering loyalty. And so the Circle called you into being. It forged your souls, your life force, to the runes, and thus secured your loyalty. And all the things you experienced in endless wars remain preserved within you, a perfect weapon. And when the war came, we saw you in endless ranks, armies from nowhere ravaging the country. Oh, how we hated you. You were the symbol of the power of the 13 great puppeteers. Well, I can understand why Rohen called one of you back. If anything can save the weakened Northern Realms, then it's the power of the rune.
The Northern Realms.
We describe the countries in the northern section of Fiara as the Northern Realms. This primarily includes Northander, the former seat of the Empire. Today, Northander is more like a kind of loose confederation of the four surviving ruling houses. The realm of the High Mark, which lies to the south of the Darklands, has closed its borders. We don't know what's going on there. But there aren't just humans living in the Northern Realms. The dwarves have their two big cities, Windholm and Festholm, and all that remains of the elves is the settlement of the Eloni. Farther east, behind the Wildland Pass, is the Orc realm of Grook, which is ruled by the Orcs of the Sharok. South of there is the place where the Dark Elves live in their obsidian towers. They call their realm La.